For most of automotive history, buying the most expensive car in the world was simple. In a strange way, you needed exactly one thing: enough money. Write the check, and eventually someone would build you the car. That's not how this list works. There are cars you buy. And then there's this list: 10 cars you have to be chosen for. A blank check isn't enough for a single one of them. Somewhere between $9 million and $9 million, but only if we like you. An entirely different kind of exclusivity takes over. The manufacturer calls you, not the other way around. And by the time we reach number 1, you'll understand why sold out doesn't mean they ran out of cars. It means they ran out of people they were willing to sell to. Welcome back to Luxury Torque. Every car on this list is real, either delivered to a real owner or in production right now. Nothing here is a rendering, a rumor, or a concept car that never left an auto show stand. We're ranking them by exactly one thing: not the price tag, but how hard it actually is to get your hands on one. Some of these took 4 years to build for a single buyer. A couple of them you literally cannot buy today at any price. The manufacturer already decided that question for you. 10 cars, one idea running underneath every entry. Past a certain point, money stops being the hard part. Let's start at number 10. Number 10. Bugatti Divo. Bugatti was founded in 1909 by Ettore Bugatti in Molsheim, in the Alsace region of France, built on his own maxim: nothing is too beautiful, nothing is too expensive. A century later, that philosophy still explains why this list starts here, with a car most people have never even heard of. 40 units, roughly $5.8 million each. Practically a rounding error by the end of this list. The Divo is named after Albert Divo, the French driver who won the brutal Targa Florio road race for Bugatti twice in the late 1920s, and unlike its sibling the Chiron, it was never built to chase a top-speed record. It was built to be thrown around corners, lighter, more aerodynamic, tuned on Nardo's handling circuit in southern Italy, until it could out-corner a car with more raw power than it had. But here's the part that actually matters for this list. Bugatti never opened the Divo up to the public. They quietly showed it to a small group of existing Chiron owners first, and by Bugatti's own account, all 40 cars sold immediately, before the car had even been properly unveiled to the world. You didn't buy your way into the Divo. You already had to be inside the club to be offered a seat. And the club, in this case, was a list of people who already owned the car that came before it. Number 9. Bugatti 110. Number 9 goes back to a version of Bugatti most people have completely forgotten existed. Long before Volkswagen Group revived the brand with the Veyron, there was a different Bugatti, Italian-owned, based in a factory in Campogalliano, that in 1991 built a car called the EB110 to mark what would have been Ettore Bugatti's 110th birthday. Quad-turbocharged V12, carbon fiber monocoque, all-wheel drive, genuinely radical for its era, and now mostly forgotten by everyone except the people who actually study this brand. The 110, Italian for 110, is the modern Bugatti's tribute to that nearly forgotten car. Quad-turbo W16 this time, 1,600 horsepower, just shy of $9 million, and only 10 built. Exactly like the Divo. There was no dealership moment to have. Every one of those 10 was already spoken for by Bugatti's most loyal collectors before the car was properly unveiled to the public. The difference between the Divo and the 110 isn't how they were sold. It's that even fewer people got the invitation. Number 8. Koenigsegg CXR Trevita. Every other manufacturer on this list belongs to a giant. Bugatti and Bentley answer to Volkswagen Group. Rolls-Royce answers to BMW. Aston Martin is publicly traded. Koenigsegg answers to one person, Christian von Koenigsegg, who started the company in Sweden in 1994 with the specific goal of building the best car in the world without a conglomerate's balance sheet behind him. Everything Koenigsegg makes is made in small numbers because it has to be, not as a marketing decision, but because that's the actual size of the company. Which brings us to the CCXR Trevita. Trevita means three whites, in Swedish, named for a diamond weave white carbon fiber, so difficult to produce that Koenigsegg planned a run of 3 and only ever completed 2. Not because buyers walked away, because the clear coat kept micro-cracking the weave during production, and the factory couldn't guarantee a third body would survive being built at all. Some cars are exclusive because of a waiting list. This one is exclusive because the car itself set the limit, and not even its own maker could talk it into a third. Number 7. Mercedes-Maybach Exelero. The Maybach name is older than most people realize. Wilhelm Maybach helped Gottlieb Daimler build some of the very first Mercedes engines, then went on to found his own ultra-luxury marque under his own name. Mercedes-Benz revived Maybach as a standalone ultra-luxury brand in 2002, retired it again roughly a decade later, then brought the name back a second time as its most exclusive trim level. The Exelero belongs to that first revival and to a job that had absolutely nothing to do with luxury. In 2004, a tire company called Fulda needed to stress test a new high-speed tire line rated for genuinely dangerous speeds, so it commissioned exactly one car to do it, the Maybach Exelero. Twin-turbo V12, around 700 horsepower, 218 miles an hour, built to be driven flat out by professional test drivers, not to be luxurious. It did its job, then kept getting a second life anyway. A cameo in a Jay-Z music video, and eventually a permanent home in a private museum, where it sits today. This one isn't rare because of a price. It's rare because the story already ended, and nobody's reopening it. Number 6. Pagani Zonda, HP Barchetta. Horacio Pagani spent years at Lamborghini's composites department, working on some of the earliest carbon fiber research the brand ever did, before deciding to build cars under his own name instead. Pagani Automobili released its first car, the Zonda, in 1999, named after the Zonda, a fierce, dry wind that sweeps down from the Andes in Pagani's native Argentina. The HP Barchetta is Pagani's own tribute to that first Zonda, marking the brand's growth from a one-man composites obsession into one of the most respected names in hypercars. Barchetta means little boat in Italian, a nod to the open-top, roofless, windshieldless cockpit that leaves nothing between the driver and the road. Only 3 exist. One never left the factory. The other 2 went to clients close enough to the brand that the car was shaped around their personal taste instead of a spec sheet. When one does change hands, it's for north of $17 million. But you don't call Pagani and place an order. You need to already be a Pagani person before they decide you're a Zonda person too. And at a company this small, that isn't a marketing category. It's a real short list Horacio Pagani keeps in his head. Number 5. Rolls-Royce Sweptail. To understand the Sweptail, you have to go back to how Rolls-Royce actually used to work. In the 1920s and 30s, Rolls-Royce didn't build car bodies at all. It built the chassis and the engine, then sent the car to an outside coach builder, who hand-built a unique body to the client's exact taste. Every single one was different. Mass production eventually killed that entire industry. For most of the 20th century, coach building was just history. Then, in 2013, a client asked Rolls-Royce to bring it back. The result, revealed in 2017, was the Sweptail, a two-door coupe with a raked, tapering rear deck and a full-length panoramic glass roof, built over 4 years for that one client, with zero plan to ever build a second. It debuted around $12.8 million and briefly became the most expensive new car on Earth. 4 years, one buyer. This wasn't a product launch. It was a commission, closer to a portrait than a car. And it worked so well that Rolls-Royce didn't stop there. Other clients started asking for the same thing. Within a few years, the one-off experiment had become a permanent department, Rolls-Royce Coach Build, which means the Sweptail isn't just number 5 on this list. It's the reason 3 of the next 4 entries exist at all. Number 4. Bugatti La Voiture Noire. In 1939, Jean Bugatti, the son of founder Ettore Bugatti, and the man actually designing most of Bugatti's cars by that point, was testing one of the company's Le Mans winning race cars near the factory in Molsheim. He swerved to avoid a cyclist on the road, struck a tree, and was killed instantly. He was 30 years old. That same year, his personal car disappeared. It was one of just 4 Type 57 ST Atlantics ever built, impossibly rare even then, with a riveted spine running down the hood and doors that opened upward like a plane's canopy. Jean's was the only all-black one, and by every account, it was the car he loved most. When Germany invaded France the following year, Bugatti tried to move its most valuable cars to safety. 3 of the 4 Atlantics survived the war and are accounted for today, sitting in major collections. The 4th, Jean's black one, was reportedly put on a train toward Bordeaux and was never seen again. No confirmed sighting since. If it resurfaced tomorrow, serious collectors estimate it could be worth over $100 million, which would make it, by a wide margin, the most valuable car on Earth. La Voiture Noire, the black car, is Bugatti's modern tribute to that lost original. One unit, revealed in 2019, a quad-turbo W16, pushing close to 1,500 horsepower. Around $18 million, which briefly made it the most expensive new car Bugatti had ever sold. But the thing actually being sold here was never really the horsepower. It's the only existing answer to a mystery that's haunted car collectors for more than 8 decades. And Bugatti made sure exactly one person got to own that answer. Number 3. Aston Martin Valor. Aston Martin has been building cars since 1913, survived multiple near bankruptcies along the way, and somewhere in there became the car brand most associated with a certain fictional British spy. A partnership going back to 1964's Goldfinger that's still part of the brand's identity today. For its 110th anniversary in 2023, Aston Martin built the Valor, a 5.2-liter twin-turbo V12, producing 705 horsepower, paired to a genuine 6-speed manual transmission. A stick shift in a car this powerful, at a time when almost every other manufacturer on this list has abandoned manual gearboxes entirely. It's styled as a tribute to the 1970s V8 Vantage and the modern one-off Victor, with round headlights and triple exhaust tips that reference Aston's own history rather than chasing a hypercar look. Exactly 110 were built, one for every year of the company's existence, and Aston Martin never really needed to advertise it. Reports at the time had it selling out within about 2 weeks, not because of a marketing campaign, but because the people Aston Martin actually offered it to had already bought everything else the brand built before it. Number 2. Rolls-Royce Boattail. After the Sweptail proved there was real demand, Rolls-Royce Coach Build took its second commission, the Boattail. 3 built, each for a different client, each reportedly around $28 million, which made it, until very recently, the most expensive new car ever sold anywhere. But the price was never really the headline. The headline is the rear deck. Press a button, and it opens in a butterfly wing motion to reveal what Rolls-Royce genuinely calls a hosting suite, a chilled double fridge built to hold a specific champagne at exactly 6 degrees, a fold-out parasol that deploys like an inverted flower, rotating cocktail tables, and a full set of tableware. The first car even came with a matching pair of his and hers timepieces, developed with the Swiss watchmaker Beauvais over 3 years, each with a tiny sculpture of the car built into the dial. One of the 3 Boattails is widely reported to belong to Beyoncé and Jay-Z. Rolls-Royce, true to form, has never confirmed a single owner's name. But whoever owns these 3 cars, one thing is clear. Rolls-Royce didn't build this to be driven to work. They built it so that 3 families would never have to leave the car to host a dinner party. Number 1. Rolls-Royce La Rose Noire Droptail. Which brings us to number 1, right now, the single most expensive car on the planet, and the 3rd chapter of the same Rolls-Royce coach build story that gave us the Sweptail and the Boattail. The Droptail series is planned as 4 cars total, each one built around a completely different theme, chosen by its owner. La Rose Noire, the first of the 4, was designed entirely around the black Baccarat rose, the client's favorite flower. The exterior paint alone took over 150 attempts to get exactly right, chasing the precise shimmer of the flower's petals in direct light. The door panels are covered in parquetry using black sycamore veneer, a process Rolls-Royce says took more than 2 years from first sketch to finished car, with craftspeople working in careful, limited sessions to keep their hands steady enough not to ruin a single piece. Every car in the Droptail series comes with its own Audemars Piguet Royal Oak concept timepiece, built around a unique self-winding movement and color match to that specific car, and no other. Price, $30 million, making it, right now, the most expensive car in the world. Not an auction rumor, not a concept car, a real delivered Rolls-Royce. And just like every other entry on this list, nobody bought their way onto that list of 4. Rolls-Royce's coach build team decided who belonged there, which, if you've been with us for the last 20 minutes, is the same sentence that's been true of every single car on this list. 10 different companies, 10 completely different reasons, the exact same rule underneath all of it. So, here's the actual pattern behind this whole list, and it's worth saying plainly. Past about $10 million, the car stops being the hard part. Getting someone to agree to sell it to you is. Some of these companies solve that with a waiting list, like the Divo and the 110. Some solved it with pure physics, like Koenigsegg simply being unable to build a 3rd Trevita. Rolls-Royce solved it by turning the whole process into a multi-year relationship instead of a transaction. And Bugatti solved it, twice, by making the car itself the answer to a story, a lost race car legend, or a mystery that's been open for 80 years. Which one would you actually want if you somehow got past the waitlist? The Droptail at number 1, the most expensive car in the world today, or the Sweptail, where you'd be the only owner who will ever exist? Tell me in the comments. I read every one of them. And if this is the kind of world you like visiting, subscribe. Next time, we're ranking the 10 most exclusive private jets on Earth, and a couple of names from today's list are going to show up there too.